Hi, this is LeVar McBride, Penn State University. I have the privilege to be here today with Dwayne Peace. And Dwayne Peace and I are great friends. We met several years ago in a campground, and it was a great opportunity to get to know each other and to get to know what each other do in our careers. And Dwayne has a very unique opportunity that he has developed up in Canada. And I wanted to share with all of you what Dwayne does. It's a very important program. It's called Synergy for Youth. And Dwayne, why don't you just give us a little bit of your background, talk to us about what you've done in the past and how you got started with this work with Synergy for Youth.
When I retired, I just took what I was doing with parents and students and that into a company that is Life Synergy for Youth. And I travel around Canada. It was February of this year. I was in Bermuda for my 13th time working in Bermuda. Obviously, the work we did at 3 different campuses in Penn State University. And so I just love what it is that I do. And this is an opportunity to address the people of this conference here that I wish I could have been there for you guys or with you guys. I would have loved, because it's nice to be with like-minded people. But unfortunately, with my schedule, I wasn't able to be there.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me to share with the folks what you're doing. You know, one of the things about the conference that they're doing here in Pennsylvania is working with the mental health issues in the schools.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's a lot of things that are happening over the last several months. We've seen several school shootings. Yeah. We've seen a rise in suicide. We've seen all of these things. And, you know, when we talk about why are these things happening in our schools? Why are we missing the signs? Why are these things happening? What's your opinion on what is it that we're doing not only in our homes but in the schools that possibly we could improve upon to prevent these kinds of things rather than just, you know, blame it on the guns? Yeah. That's what we tend to do, and it's a mutual issue. There's a lot of issues involved here, but what's your opinion on how we address that issue with the kids?
Well, I think it starts at home, and I think that's why, like, I have professional development days, parent sessions, and work that I do with the students. I think that it starts at home. I find that a lot of parents are connected to their kids when they're in elementary school. They're in the schools. Everything is like, oh, it's all about the kids. In junior high, they start to kind of stand back a little bit. And when their children get into high school, it's almost like, okay, now we're talking about retirement and where are we going to go from here in our life, because pretty soon they're going to be out of the house. And so I think a lot of it starts at home. I think that when I do my professional development days, we have teachers that either shouldn't be teachers or really are not there for the right reasons. They're there because they want to have the summers off, or they don't want to work overtime, or it was just something that they had to do, and they're not really passionate about it. And when I do my professional development days, one of the things that I say is that if you're not passionate about being a teacher, become passionate or quit, because the students can feel it, the staff can see it, and in some cases it's a cancer in the staff room. In regards to the guns don't kill people. People kill people. I was a policeman for 25 years. I had a gun at my side for 25 years. Never killed a person. And so when you combine the issues that we're having, mental health issues, with guns, that's not a good combination to have. In the US, I think you are averaging around 123 suicides a day is what you're averaging. And I think it would be interesting.
And a lot of those are youth.
Absolutely. I think it'd be interesting to find out how many of those occur with the use of firearms, because if you're going to do another method, then obviously there's time to prepare, time to think, and time to back out. But with a gun, if you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, it's a pretty quick fix. Mm-hmm. And so one of the pet peeves I have is people that say that you commit suicide or you attempt suicide. The terminology I use is that you don't attempt suicide, you act on your suicidal thoughts, and you don't commit suicide, you die of suicide. Just like you don't commit cancer, you die of cancer, mm-hmm. and you die of suicide. And so when I'm traveling around, I'm educating people on the terminology I would prefer them to use, because if you attempt, obviously you weren't successful, which is just one more thing you can chalk up that you couldn't do properly. And so I think that we need to clear up some of the terminology around that as well.
Yeah. So, some of the, the work that I do in working with these families, and one of the questions that they always ask is, why would this person commit this crime? Why did they do this? Mm-hmm. And, unfortunately, a lot of the the perpetrators that I've worked with are teenagers, in these schools that commit these crimes. And one of the things that we worry about is, well, how do we catch these things? I mean, if I'm going to prevent these things from happening, how do I prevent it?